Welcome in. Today, we're stepping behind the menu price to look at what every restaurant operator absolutely must understand: the true cost of a dish. A plate is never just steak, eggs, pasta, or vegetables. It carries the cost of ingredients, labor, waste, packaging, rent, insurance, supplier changes, and the countless small decisions made in the kitchen every single day. This paper focuses on a practical but business-critical question: how can operators calculate ingredient costs accurately enough to protect their bottom line? We'll move from the basic invoice check to recipe and plate costing, to menu engineering, and finally to automated systems that keep costs updated as prices shift. And to understand why this matters so urgently in 2026, we first have to ask what happens when food prices start moving faster than the restaurant can possibly react. Here's the hook. A restaurant can sell the exact same dish every single week and make a completely different profit on it every single week. Why? Because ingredient prices change, supplier invoices change, portion sizes drift, waste happens, labor and packaging creep into the real cost of service. Think about those eggs. In recent years, egg prices swung like a pendulum on caffeine, jumping dramatically one month, dropping sharply the next. One week, your breakfast plate is profitable. The next, it's quietly a money pit. And it's not just eggs, beef, produce, dairy, cooking oil. Everything is on a roller coaster. The research question becomes very direct. How does an operator calculate the total cost of a dish in a way that is accurate, repeatable, and actually useful for pricing decisions? Because menu prices are not guesses, they are strategic decisions. And if you don't know your true plate cost, you're not running a restaurant, you're running a high-stakes guessing game where the house always loses. The gap is not that operators don't care about food costs. Most absolutely do. The gap is that traditional costing methods are often manual, deeply inconsistent, and far too slow. You've got your Excel spreadsheet, color-coded, formula-heavy, your pride and joy. You update it when you launch a new recipe. Maybe, but here's the harsh reality. Invoices pile up on the manager's desk, each one hiding microscopic price changes. That case of peppers went up $3 last week. Your butter supplier added a fuel surcharge. Your herb vendor quietly changed the unit size. Your spreadsheet has no idea. Your chef doesn't have time to manually update 47 ingredient prices every Monday morning. And one of the biggest traps of all, costing a recipe when it's first created, then never revisiting it. That might survive in a world where prices stay stable, but that is simply not the world restaurants operate in today. So if manual tracking is a sinking ship, what's the lifeboat? The approach starts with a single source of truth: the most recent supplier invoice. First, list every ingredient in the dish, not just the obvious centerpiece protein. A steak plate may include beef, but also butter, garlic, shallots, fresh herbs, a potato, sour cream, cheese, garnish, and cooking loss from heat and trimming. Next, record the unit of measure and quantity actually used in each serving. That means translating purchased units into serving units, cases into individual eaches, pounds into ounces, gallons into tablespoons, and whole cuts into precise portions. Then, reference the latest invoice price and calculate the cost of each individual component. Add those component costs together, and where possible, factor in labor, waste percentages, packaging, and overhead considerations. Now the dish is no longer a vague menu item. It becomes a measurable economic object. And once every dish on your menu is measurable, the findings that follow become extraordinarily powerful. The key finding is that consistent ingredient costing gives operators genuine control. Standardized recipes are the absolute foundation. They define exactly what goes into each dish and in exactly what quantity. That consistency matters enormously for one restaurant, and it becomes mission critical for multi-location operations. Once recipes are standardized and costs are current, operators can calculate portion costs and plate costs with real confidence. Suddenly, you can see your cost of goods sold, not last month's numbers, but today's, for every single menu item. That steak dish? Last week it cost you a certain amount to make. Today it costs more because butter jumped. Your margin is compressing and you can see it happening in real time. The system also starts revealing patterns. Bell peppers are always cheapest in August, so you plan your summer menu accordingly. Your waste on kale is 18%. Maybe it's time to switch portion sizes. This isn't just data, it becomes a complete decision system. And that system becomes even more valuable when we look at real-world applications. The implications show up everywhere in your operation. In menu engineering, that art and science of placing high-profit items where guests look first, plate cost data transforms guesswork into strategy. Your point of sale integrates with your cost engine, and suddenly you know not just what is selling, but what is actually making you money after today's ingredient prices are factored in. Online ordering adds another layer entirely. A dish sold to go may require specialized packaging and carries delivery-related costs or third-party platform fees, so its true cost can differ meaningfully from the dine-in version. Precise recipe costing lets operators account for that variability rather than pricing blindly. Inventory management improves as well. If a case of peppers gets lost in the back of the walk-in and nobody tracks it, the restaurant may reorder unnecessarily, tying up cash and driving up waste. Cost visibility helps prevent that kind of invisible leakage. But to make all of this scalable and sustainable across a growing operation, the process needs one more critical leap: automation. This is the paradigm shift. Restaurants move from reactive cost-cutting to proactive profit design. In the old world, you'd receive your profit and loss statement at month-end, feel the shock of your food cost percentage, and scramble to fix it after the damage was already done. In the new world, you see ingredient costs changing in near real time and adjust your strategy before the margin erodes. Invoice automation is what makes this possible. Instead of asking staff to manually read every invoice, catch every price shift, and update every recipe calculation by hand, modern intelligent systems automatically ingest invoice data and extract every line item detail: ingredient name, supplier, pack size, unit, price, and date. That updated information flows directly into recipe costing tools, inventory systems, accounting workflows, and margin forecasts paired with your point-of-sale data. Looking ahead, we're seeing artificial intelligence integration that predicts price spikes before they happen, automated ordering systems that place purchase orders based on real-time inventory and forecasted demand, and sustainability metrics woven into cost analysis. The future is a restaurant where every ingredient decision is intentional, every menu price is optimized, and waste is a relic of the past. So how do you step into this future and make it your reality? Here's the recipe for success. First, acknowledge that manual tracking is costing you more than it's saving in time, accuracy, and missed opportunities. Second, invest in invoice automation as your foundation. Without it, you are building on sand. Third, integrate your systems. Inventory, standardized recipes, point of sale, and accounting must speak to each other seamlessly. Fourth, partner with restaurant accounting professionals who understand this technology and can help you implement it without disrupting your operation. And fifth, commit to the ongoing practice. Check your live cost dashboard regularly, engineer your menu with margin data, and train your team to think in terms of contribution margin, not just sales volume. Calculating ingredient costs is not just about knowing what eggs, beef, herbs, or packaging cost today. It is about building a repeatable system that connects every invoice, every unit of measure, every standardized recipe, every plate cost, every menu price, and every profit margin into one clear, living picture of your business. Every dish tells a financial story. The operators who measure that story carefully are better equipped to price with confidence, adapt to change, and keep their teams focused on what matters most: great food and great service. Like and subscribe for more helpful videos like this. Connect with Forks for the experienced accounting professionals your restaurant needs. Details in description below.